now I'm happy to announce the winner for Game of the Year is selected by 51 global media and influencer outlets and the fans. And this year, the Game of the Year goes to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
We all have opinions when it comes to a certain piece of entertainment, whether that be movies, books, art. Our brains like to see them among classics and masterpieces of its respective medium. We like to see our favorite music be in the same league as Queen. We like to see our favorite movie in the same rank as The Lion King. Our minds love that. It gives us an amount of dopamine because we get to see people with similar tastes as you. Then there is the opposite of that. These are known as what many agree are just the worst things ever conceived. Most, if not all, agree the Emoji Movie is one of the worst animated movies of all time. We agree E.T. for the Atari 2600 is one of the worst video games ever created. We often can't find anyone who sees enjoyment out of them. But what if we had a mix of both? A work that divides us as a community, a creation that some people like and others don't, but at the end, it doesn't unite many. All it does is just dividing the people, a fan base, a society in which we are known for. There's many examples regarding this situation. Pixar's Cars franchise, a couple of the Star Wars movies. In my opinion, the gaming industry holds the greatest number of divisive and controversial games ever created. Paper Mario Sticker Star, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword. The list just goes on and on and on. Today, not only am I going to share my opinion on one of the most divisive games in the S&T franchise, also known as the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, it's actually my favorite JRPG and maybe favorite game of all time. Let's begin. But first, some background related to the game.
Those were the days.
What you saw right there was the announcement of a collaboration between Intelligent Systems' Fire Emblem franchise and Atlus's Shin Megami Tensei series. This collaboration was named Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. These two gaming IPs were golden examples of RPGs. They had well-written stories, addictive gameplay, deep characters, things that make a great RPG today. Seeing these two dominators of the genre was amazing for their respective fan bases. Then we waited and waited and waited and waited. This game barely got any updates aside from the occasional developer saying it's still in the works. This left people impatient and some even thought the project was cancelled. That all changed one day. But that same day was when all hope was lost for this collaboration.
Our first look at a bunch of Japanese pop stars in crazy costumes? Okay, Nintendo, you got us. Nice April Fool's Day prank. So, what's the real crossover? Oh.
April 1st, 2015, we got our first look at S&T X Fire Emblem. People were, not too happy about this at the time. A lot of people complained about it not being what they initially thought it was going to be. It was too anime. They didn't like the J-pop aspect of the game. It looked like a Persona ripoff. The complaints just kept going and going. Personally, I can understand why people got mad about this. It didn't make sense how this and this turned into. According to Shinjiro Takata, one of Atlus's developers, said during a VentureBeat interview, The problem is, if you make it too much like a Fire Emblem game, then why doesn't Intelligent Systems just make it themselves? The goal for this was to do something that the Fire Emblem series can't do. In the end, the reason the game looks the way it does, the reason the content is the way it is because this is something we wanted to do as an Atlus game, a game only Atlus could make. This goes to show there have been a ton of development issues during the production as to what they're going to make. They had to think of something fast because the Wii U at this time was getting desperate for reasons to get one, especially since its console life was coming to an end with the Nintendo NX or Switch today as we know it replaces it. The game known today as Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE was released on December 26, 2015 in Japan and June 24, 2016 for West release. Critics were mixed to say the least. A lot of people liked the combat and energy of the game, but many said that the story and characters are weak, and I can't talk about this game without its censorship. Oh boy, we're gonna be here a while. Before I start, I want to make something very clear. No, this is not my opinion, nor this is a review of the game. This is an argumentative essay about what made Tokyo Mirage Sessions or TMS not succeed or have the same appeal like other Atlus IPs. Do be warned, I am expecting you to know at least the basics of the game, like the characters and or story, so if you haven't played the game or seen a let's play, click off the video to prevent spoilers. Alright, I think we're ready. TMS has a very simple story. A young silent protagonist stopping the world from some evil monsters and defeats them with the help of his companions. We heard this story many times. It's as simple as it gets. I think that's where the game sees a bit of its narrative problems. It's too simple for an Atlus story. Atlus are the developers of several games like the Persona and SNT series, Devil Survivor, Atrian Odyssey, and so many more. All of these games have one thing in common. They have non-linear stories. Persona 4 is about a murder mystery inside a TV world. Devil Survivor is about a lockdown with outbreaks of evil and good demons. Heck, we even go as crazy as an app that takes you to an alternate universe and forces you to take the grief out of society's villains using a reincarnation of your rebellion against their thoughts. That is Persona 5. Whew, man, that was a mouthful. The point is, I can't name many JRPGs that have such great storytelling as Atlus's games. Atlus have made some of my favorite games in the RPG genre. They're who introduced many of us to a new style of gameplay that we never knew we would love so much. It's nearly jaw-dropping to see them make a story so simple that we wouldn't even bother to check it just because of its linearity. Well, what if I told you that wouldn't fully be the case?
No, God!
My point are the characters.
頑張りましたね。エレオノーラ、翼も。
普段ラリーのこと正直あれだなとか思ってたんだけど、かっこいいところもあるんだね。
胸だけ二次元のがっかりさん。
Oh my god! Dude!
それよりディアマジョセカンドシーズンのボックス。
That was the most intense burn of all time.
Okay, so the game can be pretty basic at the core, but if Atlus made any deep narrative connections to real life, it would be in the characters. Let's start with Itsuki. Wait, Itsuki? That's not right. Okay. Alright, before anybody starts, let me explain. Itsuki is mostly just a basic protagonist to make the game move on. But for this, I want to make an exception. I know he's not a deep protagonist, he mostly just leads the group. That's true, even for someone who is defending the game, I had to agree. But if Itsuki does one thing right, is he is the form of connecting the other members of his group to overcome themselves. He is the embodiment of a personal trainer to motivate you both physically and, most importantly, mentally. He wants his team to succeed in their careers, and he tries his best with what he can do. Itsuki is a bland protagonist, I agree, but we gotta be honest. Without him, Fortuna Entertainment wouldn't succeed as much as the game tells us they do. Phew, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the opposite of confident and bland. Tsubasa. Tsubasa is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the most fleshed out character in the game. We learn at the very beginning her motivations to why she wants to be an idol, and later on that turns to why she's saving the world. It's for her sister. She didn't really care about the success of being popular. She wanted to do it because she admires her sister, and she's not just a character who says she wants to be an idol. She's, in reality, insecure, shy, clumsy, and sometimes quirky. Throughout the story, we really get to see Tsubasa overcome her fears, from her first song debut, to modeling, to finally having her first concert. Tsubasa is a character that represents the mindset of a rookie in the entertainment industry and how that rookie can be huge with one word: self-esteem. Tsubasa learns that improving her self-esteem is a major key to becoming successful as an idol. The game shows us she has talent. Now it was that half she was missing. Tsubasa is an overall amazing and likable character, and probably the best in the game. The rest of the cast shares their own type of message and representation of an idol's problems, or at least we get to learn something about them. Kiria feels insecure about people knowing that she really likes cute things. This is a normal example of people worrying about their reputation when they're just being themselves. Mamori shows what little control an idol could have over their own life. She wants to be a singer to perform enka songs, more traditional sorts of ballets. Sadly, she is the host of the microwave idol Mamorin show. This isn't what she wants, but her age and role means we see her going back and forth with few people paying attention to her dreams, with the exception of Barry. Her side story helps us understand that even though a job can seem glamorous, it can be the exact opposite. I can make a video in the future about each of these characters' personalities and struggles. I just wanted to mention some of the best examples for this section. Now let's move on what I think doomed this game from the start. SMT Cross Fire Emblem. This is a good example of a game or project's advertising damaging the product itself. I won't get too in detail about this since I already said my overall opinion on the topic earlier, but all I can defend this game for its drastic tonal shift is in a tweet Nintendo said they wanted to make this game a new experience. I might as well also go over what this game always gets a hate for: the censorship. For those who don't know, the game during its development had been censored in some of the aesthetics like Tsubasa's wedding dress and Fio outfit not showing her cleavage. The character age for most of the characters was increased by 1, and who could forget the removal of the Hot Springs DLC. I know you're one of those people, and I'll be honest here, I am disappointed that they removed that even for TMS Encore. I know, I'm a horny weeb in a basement making YouTube videos, but come on, you wanted it too. Personally, I'd rather talk about this in depth and the history of censorship in video games some other time, because I have quite a couple of ideas. I'm talking to you, Sony. All I'm adding is, this game was developed during a time Nintendo wanted to keep themselves as a family-friendly company. So today, with the Switch, they are more laid back on the situation. But Minty, why isn't the game uncensored today then? Along with our DLC, I want my waifus. As much as I would love to give you the answer, I can't. My theory is that it had to do with Atlus's policies, but we'll probably never know the true answer for this. At the end of the day, these two complaints are what make the game sometimes, if not the majority of the time, unappealing to the audience. I wish I could defend my part in this, but all we can do is enjoy the game we have now. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FB Encore, a re-release of the title with some additional costumes and a new song, is finally out on the Switch. It seems like the game is living a better life than it did on the Wii U. If you ever get the chance to check this game out and really like RPGs and its focus on J-pop, I'd strongly suggest it. This is one of the best JRPGs you can get on the Switch right now. Tokyo Mirage Sessions may not be as popular as Atlus or Nintendo's other franchises, but it really taught them a lot throughout the way to not censor your games for no reason, to advertising your game fairly, to please Nintendo just add Tsubasa for Smash, best waifu. Thank you all so much for watching. This may be a pretty crappy video, but I put a ton of heart and effort to make this argument possible. If you want to see more video essays from me, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you want me to talk about anything else on the channel, comment down below because I am open towards any ideas you guys are suggesting. That's all for today. My name is Nintendo and stay focused.